Today we have with us, we have Nan Chassain, one of our customers that built a second home in Colorado a couple years ago. What year was it that you built?
Well, we tore down in 22. Is that right? Yeah, and we put the foundation in, and then we framed it from there, and we moved in May of 23.
23. Okay. Man, time flies.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so she's here to tell us the story of her, her experiences and kind of talk about why she chose to build a log home. And it's a good one. It's a good story. So, yeah. So first off, tell us about you. Tell us about you, how you found Gastineau, what you do, and why you chose to build a log home.
Okay. So we found Gastineau in the early 80s. Surprisingly, my husband and I both went to Mizzou. And we would drive back and forth during college. And then years would go by where we weren't going down to Columbia anymore. But every time we did, we'd see these log homes over here. Or maybe there was only one back then, but there was something to look at. And we'd said, oh, someday we're going to have a log home. And, 35 years later, what happened was we had discovered the town of Red Cliff, Colorado, back in 2009 through mutual friends and fell in love with the town and eventually decided that's where we want a second home. We want to be in the mountains. So we bought a house on a lot that has a creek in the back that comes all the way out of the mountains. It's beautiful. We tried to save the house. So we'd hired an architect, structural engineer, had plans to renovate that house. And that goes back to what I do for a living. So we did everything for 2 years to try to save this house and found out after we gutted it that it was completely rotted. Mostly the sill plate, but also the way it was framed in 1908. The studs weren't 16 inches on center, some were 9, then it would be 32, then it would be 19.
Wherever they wanted to stick one.
Wherever they wanted to. And kind of during that time, the fireplace had fallen off the side of the house. So we just got to the point and said, we're going to have to tear it down. And so we're like, what do we do? And we had gone up to Columbia maybe for a football game or something. And we're like, we know what we're doing. So we called here and I think made an appointment and came out and went through a couple of the displays and that day made that. I mean, we knew we wanted that. So it was a pretty easy decision. So we finally got our dream home 35 years later.
I love it. That's so fun. You guys built what plan again?
The Juliana.
The Juliana. And you added a one-car garage.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very deep. And then we put a bunk, we call it the bunk room, above the garage.
That's right. That's right. So you have space from the loft over to the top of the garage to get a little, it's more extra, like a living space.
Yeah.
That's
right. That's where we have 4 queen beds. So it fits a lot of people. Which is great.
And you folks live in St. Louis area.
Yes.
Not in St. Louis, but St. Louis area. And you built how many? What is it? How many miles is it to where your house is?
Well,
Several
it's 12
hundred.
hours and 45 minutes door to door. It's over I think it's like 950 miles door to door.
That's what I was thinking.
We do it in a day.
Yeah. A lot of our customers have the situation where they're building quite a distance from where they live. There's some challenges in doing that. What advice would you have to people that are going to be doing that as far as how to keep on top of it? And
well, first off, I would say do it because I think to me, part of the beauty of a second home is to be in a different environment. And any place close to here, we actually had property down in Cuba. We had a house down there. But it was so
Cuba,
close.
you mean Cuba, Missouri?
Cuba, Missouri.
Not Cuba.
Not Cuba. Cuba, Missouri. And it was only like an hour and 15-minute drive door to door. But what it became for us, it was almost too close. It just became work. It was too easy.
Yeah.
So we were always out there, mowing the grass, painting, and it just wasn't enjoyable enough. So we sold that. But I'd say if you have to travel to get there, you're going for some length of time where you can actually, set the house up, do the groceries, do whatever you do, and then enjoy it. Because it's not your primary house. So the challenge is probably for us the drive. And it's not the drive during the good months. It's over once the snow starts, and it really is bad for us once you kind of leave Denver, or maybe even before that. So we've lucked out. We've never had to spend the night in a hotel or in a civic center while the roads were closed, but a couple of our sons have on their way out because
Yeah.
it just happens.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, but you also had a with the existing house that was there, trying to remodel that. Is that how you met a lot of the contractors and kind of understood the building process there, or what kind of the process for
Well,
learning?
the people that the realtor who sold us the house put us in contact with a group of contractors, but all they do is renovate. They were not builders.
Got it.
So they had been on the project, off and on throughout the year, shoring up the foundation. Everything was built on rock. It's not like a poured cement. It's not cinder block. These were just rocks. And so we did that and worked with an architect to come up with plans and all. And again, once we kind of started digging in, ready to go, and everything had been picked out, and found out it was rotted. When we decided to tear it down, then we decided let's leave it standing and find a builder and just have them manage the demolition and the foundation pour and the build.
Yeah.
So that took a little bit of time to interview people and find somebody within the Eagle County who had built a log home previously
Right.
that had the understanding of the mechanics of it.
Right. Right.
And fortunately for us, our builder had done one, but the gentleman who did all the framing had done several. So that's why he hired him. And he did a
Gotcha.
beautiful job.
Tell everybody about what you do, because you kind of have a hand up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just based on your day job here.
So, yeah, for the past 24 years, I have been renovating historic homes in the St. Louis area, which is very different than a new home, say something that's less than 50 years old, and it's very different than building. But that's where my background was. And about maybe 12 years ago, I started working as a project manager for people because they knew what I did. I had done probably over 50 houses. So I kind of had a reputation, and they would say, can you come to my house? We want to renovate, or we want to do this. And so I became a project manager. And then I also built a house. I built a new home in St. Louis. So I had kind of gone through that process with the builder, and that was a breeze. But I also, through all those years, had gained a lot of knowledge about electricity and plumbing
Right.
and insulation and all of those things. What I found hard about building, one, not being able to be there every day, which I am in St. Louis. I can go to a job site every day and talk to all my contractors. I didn't have access to the contractors. I just had access to the builder. And he and I butted heads because, we got so far as we were framed in and we were getting ready to do the electrical layout for where I wanted lights and what kinds of things I was looking for and my plumbing specs. Now, that's pretty driven by the plan itself. But I told him, I don't want you to start that till I come out. And so I came out, and he was fairly annoyed with me. But I just said I want to work with them directly because I felt like trying to explain those things over the phone was going to be too hard. And I probably spent 15, 20 minutes with each of those guys, and it was done. Here's the plan.
Right.
There's the lights. This is where I want the switches, the outlets. I want these wired in for future things. So, yeah, it was a little hard for me doing what I do to rely on somebody else to express what I was wanting.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're used to being that person.
I'm used to being in charge.
Right. And so to have somebody do it, I understand that, coming from the world I came from too also.
Yeah.
It's not that you're not giving up control, but construction can happen multiple ways.
Yes.
And it's not that one is necessarily wrong.
Right.
But if this is how your process is, somebody else coming in with a different process is hard to.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was more the process than anything else that was really hard for me.
Yeah.
One takeaway I would get from that is the fact that if someone has very specific wishes and needs in any project, that if they talk to the people ahead of time, whoever's going to be doing it, as opposed to waiting for it to go in and then complain.
Exactly.
You know,
Yes.
because it's a lot easier to do it right the first time than it is to go back and redo it.
Right.
Right.
And I think that is the takeaway is I kind of started this out saying I'm going to trust him to read my notes, take the plans. I had drawn every room out on a graph paper, specifically where I wanted things. And he was kind of not following that. And that's where the headbutting kind of started. I think if I had been a little bit more proactive up front and maybe brought those plans to him versus sending him an email with it and actually spent time going through that, it would have eliminated a lot of stress on my end. Probably his too.
Yeah, right,
So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know myself that a lot of times you talk to people on the phone and particularly about, and terminology is different. People call things different things.
Yes.
People think they're explaining something. And I just had a situation last week where a gentleman what he was trying to tell me to do is take a set of stairs off of the side of this deck. And what I heard was remove the deck. So, it's just a difference in terminology and the way they express it. And they know what they're thinking, but that
Right.
may not be what comes out of their mouth. Or maybe it's just that what went in my brain. You may have said it right. It just went in my brain wrong. So,
No, I agree with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
And I wish I had probably made a bigger effort to get out there maybe once every 6 to 8 weeks during the process too. I think being involved is a good thing.
Yes.
Right, right. But that's also hard. I mean, we have lives.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's also, again, with a lot of our customers that like you that are building states away, that's kind of part of the planning process. We recommend to plan to do all those things as much as you can.
Right.
Over communicate, especially at the beginning. You really can't plan too much.
Right.
With those kinds of things, and then also expect that things are going to go wrong because
yeah.
it's construction. So.
Well, I tell my own clients, even if we're just doing a kitchen, something's going to go wrong.
Right.
It's just the nature of the business. It's the nature of anything. And if you tell them that up front, and I did know that going into this, that you can take it kind of with a grain of salt. There's always a solution.
Right.
Don't panic.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
Absolutely. Tell me about your experiences in a log home when you're at your home compared to the historic homes that you renovate and that you live in now.
I always tell people, to me and to my husband and I think my kids, what happens is, because we drive out, this is a little story to get to the house, but we hit Colorado and everything like your blood pressure starts dropping. Then we get in the mountains and it drops again. And then we get to our house and it's like you're flatlined. It just is it's our happy place. And it's the house itself, but it's the way you feel in the house that's very different than living in a new house here or a new house or old house. There's something about the wood and the logs and the lighting, the beams, all of it creates a sense of calm. And I think the coolest part for us is we did do a lot of drywall on the second floor, but the ceiling going up is still wood, and there's a lot of wood features up there, all the trim, all of that. So you don't lose any of the warmth with that, but it's the way the light plays off of wood and not drywall. It's just very different. It's kind of like a glow. So it's and we have dimmers on every light out there too. So but the overall feeling is, I think all my family would agree, is they're happy when they're there, they're calm when they're there, and everybody works during the week. I mean, we have Starlink, and we can have 30-something devices going, and
Wow.
it's perfect. I mean, everybody can go in a bedroom or sit in the kitchen or the family room and work.
So get your work done, but then come out
And then we have a creek behind us, so we, a lot of times the windows are open, we don't have air conditioning, so you have that peaceful sound all day, all night.
Oh, wow.
well, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool. And we're also in a dark sky town, so there are no exterior lights at night, so you can just peek out your window and all the stars.
So it's at the whole town.
Yeah, as dark sky.
Oh, I did not
You can
realize
have
that.
I've never
lights
heard of that.
outside, but they have to have a cap on them, so it's not direct light for like migratory birds and yeah, they're
I've
very
never heard of that.
nature conscious.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no pollution from the
Correct.
light.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's
I've never
really
heard that
cool.
either. Never heard that either.
So what kinds of things do you do when you leave, as far as how do you shut your house down? Because other people might be doing that too. Might be some good advice on things to think about what you need to close it down for a few months. Or
Well, I think one of the things we figured out was they put a Honeywell system in for the we have radiant floor heat throughout the house, and we have 8 zones, but we shut them all down. We turned them down to 55, and then in our main one we got a Residio Honeywell. It's a Residio program that's tied to Honeywell, so we can watch that temperature in the house when we're 900 miles away, but we also can turn it up before we get there so the house gets warm. If it's during the cool months, we adjust the water heater temperature. We drop that. It's cost saving. So those are more economic parts of it, but we do run the water and then shut the water off as well, which especially in a cold environment, is a big thing because of burst pipes.
Right.
But I would do that. We shut our water off here when we leave. We don't want to come home to water everywhere. So and we don't leave lights on, like on timers at night. Again, probably because we're a dark sky town, that you don't see lights after everybody's gone to bed. The town is pitch black. Some of those things we figured out within the first year, like what would make our life even more easy. And that's what we did. We kind of changed some locks out, and so we can manage it from here.
Right.
And we also put in Ring cameras outside so we could see weather, if there is a delivery, and also we can see our creek, which we like.
Sit in St. Louis, just watch your creek go by.
Yeah.
so they're sitting at home in the family room with their creek
Yeah.
on the TV,
Going
on the
live.
TV,
It's our
100-inch TV, and it's watching the creek.
My husband actually looks at it, I think, almost every day. He just loves that. And then also we have bears and lions that will come through town. So you kind of want to see that. We've
Make
not
sure
had them
it's-
at our house because our trash cans aren't outside because we're not there. They're in the garage. So they're not very interested in our house,
Right.
which is good.
Right. Yeah. Nobody rummaging through your trash. Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to be sitting on the couch watching the creek and a deer and a bear just walk right by.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've had like coyotes go by, fox, because of the water, they'll gravitate toward that. But I've seen moose. They'll just walk through town.
In the middle of town, because it's a pretty condensed town, right? It's pretty, like you said, your lot's small.
Yeah,
on
there's
the
only
smaller
250
side, right?
people there.
Okay, yeah. So that's kind of crazy. It's a pretty populated place for all that wildlife to be
Yeah.
running through. That's awesome.
Well, the town's in their backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
That's,
You're right.
That's true.
They don't think they're going through the town. The town is in their yard.
We kind of infringed upon them.
Exactly.
But we do
Yeah.
have a lot of wildlife,
Yeah, that's cool.
which is really cool.
Yeah. You said you turn the AC temperature down, you turn the temperature down on the hot water heater, turn the water faucets off. Did you say something about, or maybe you mentioned before that you have like water sensing?
Yeah. We found, I think they're called Yo-Yo Link, and you get a main terminal that you kind of plug into your power, but then you have these little sub-terminals that you can put in the bathrooms, underneath your kitchen sink, underneath your refrigerator, because the ice maker, water lines. Now, we do turn the water off, so the chance that those things would ever go off is pretty small. But when other people, like my children, leave, do we always remember to do all that stuff? Not always. So it is kind of nice that we can monitor that if somebody has forgotten it.
Right. Yeah.
And, a lot of times we might be there and then take 2 or 3 days and go off somewhere. We don't shut the water down for that.
Right.
But and the neighbors are wonderful. If we got an alarm, somebody would go over. We'd call somebody and they would go
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah. But even still, you don't want, especially given, 6 weeks time lag between visits. I mean, you
Right.
don't want to walk into something that's been sitting there for weeks. Yeah. So that's smart.
Yeah, I think of anything you can think of that makes you feel good when you leave the property as best you can. I think that's the things that we figured out within a year. Like those are the things we need to be aware of
Right.
if we need to make a phone call.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms do you have?
we have 4 bedrooms because we built the bedroom over the garage.
And it's a big open bunk room.
It's a big open,
yeah.
with the pitch ceiling and 3 windows, and 2 of them are out. They look out over the creek. So there's 4 beds in there, big loft area, which plenty of room. Like I have grandkids, and we have a couch TV set up, and so when the kids are playing games, they go up there. And then there's a full bath and 2 more bedrooms on the second floor, and then we have a primary suite with the bathroom downstairs and then a half bath.
Tell me about some of the customization that you made to the plan to make it fit better for your family and for your situation as a second home.
So the modifications that we made were adding a bedroom above the garage, and it's big. It's got 4 queen beds in it, so you can sleep 8. Trying to think what else we did up on that floor itself. Really not. The plan itself was good. We just needed 1 more bedroom.
Did you expand the dormer in the back? Does that go out over the garage?
So yeah, that good. You have a better memory than I do. We did. We actually lifted the whole back side of the house straight up.
Okay.
So we could have full head clearance in the
Right.
loft, and in that bedroom. So the loft is, I'm going to call it a half pitch up to the, what would that be? The eave?
The ridge?
The ridge. And then it's a flat ceiling out to the back.
Gotcha.
So we got a
Yes.
lot of headroom. I mean, all my kids are 6'2" to 6'4", so I needed them not to always be going into a pitched bedroom.
Yeah.
But in the and we actually did it in that back bedroom as well. That also we lifted that, so we had clearance. But the front bedroom still has all the different pitches in the room.
Yeah, you've got just a little that's the standard. Juliana has
Yeah.
just the gable dormer in the front.
Right.
So just like a 6-foot dormer, I believe, maybe 8 foot.
But and then we have like a bench there, and there's like a dresser in there. But the nightstand and the bed are tucked back, and so somebody does like a little bit more of a dive into that bed. But it's actually one of their favorite rooms.
Yeah, it's almost like a
those roof lines make it really unique.
yeah.
And I think they
cozy.
feel good in them.
Cozy.
I mean,
Right.
they're tall, but nobody's ever complained.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah.
They're just like kind of like wraps you up in that
Right.
in that room. Yeah.
And I think the only other things we did modification-wise where we took a lot of the wood. So the second floor is mainly stick framed with
Right.
drywall.
Yep.
But then, like I said, all the trim, the doors, all of that is still wood. Obviously, the wood flooring, the wood baluster, staircase. So that charm did not get lost going up there. And then on the pitched ceilings, that's all wood. So no matter kind of where you are upstairs, unless you close the door in the bedroom, you think
Still feel
you're
all that.
in a log home
Right.
for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
And then we did drywall ceilings in, let's see, the primary bathroom, closet, in the utility room, and that was to allow for some plumbing to go high
second
because it's so cold out where we are that we didn't want it below the house. So we had to go above.
Gotcha.
So we hid that. Instead of having a wood ceiling like the rest of the 1st floor, we have drywall.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
that exposed floor system was basically boxed in
Right.
to allow for the plumbing fixtures.
Yes. And then the only other thing we did out there, and the structural engineer did this, and because we have such cold winters, we brought all our utilities into a bunker. So our house has a very, I'm going to say some places it's probably 4 feet tall underneath, and that's all gravel. But we have a bunker in there. So all the utilities run in above ground level and go into the bunker and come up into the closet in the utility room. So we have like a secret door in the floor that we can get down in that bunker if we need
Yeah.
it for anything.
I remember is it poured concrete or like cinder
Yep.
block?
No, it's poured concrete.
Poured concrete within the subfloor.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a like I remember doing that like during construction. Kind of had to pull that together.
Right.
If I remember right.
And that's been great. I mean, for us. And the other modification that we had to do, and this was strictly a code thing because we're in a floodplain, we have floodgates. So in the foundation, maybe we have 11 of them. So if the water would ever rise high enough, it would just, the gates would open and wash through underneath the house.
Yep.
And come out the other side.
Lacey lived in Bel Air and Texas.
I remember
when
that.
was
You're the one that
yeah.
told me about that.
Yeah.
And they had the same, and it flooded, and it was crazy because the water just literally running underneath the house.
Yep.
It's the craziest feeling.
But also it did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yes.
So I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, it was all worth it. It was good.
No, I think it was great, but I never had heard of them. And I guess
Yeah.
I mentioned it to you. You showed me a picture of your house, and that was helpful for me understanding this, although I didn't really understand why I needed it. We built a foot above the high water mark, but FEMA wanted it.
Right.
And you know, for our mortgage, we had to have flood insurance, and so it became a whole thing, and it works great.
Right.
Yeah.
It is so funny. It's one of those things that it really does work well, and
Yeah.
it's inexpensive. Most of the time, when they have something to deal with some issue, they make it extremely expensive in order to do it. And these are really, it's a cheap way of doing it. And it
is.
works.
It
Yeah.
does work.
Yeah.
And we can get underneath the house because of those gates. So we have two of them that are on freedom latches that we can open and then get underneath. You know, we've put some of the wood down there, extra things, and it's dry as a bone. It's perfect.
Little storage area.
Yes.
It's like under your bed. You know, you
Yes,
stick things in there.
exactly. I just go under my house,
Right.
my crawl space. Yeah, so that was another modification. And we have a deck on the back.
You ever put a deck on the back? Did you move the stairs? The stairs in the standard Juliana, there's kind of a hallway between the bedroom and on the main floor and the stairs.
So we kept the stairs where they were, but what we did is we opened them up. So you go up and there's like a 4-foot square platform, and then up to that probably was part of the plan, but we changed the stairs. So our stairs are open.
That's right. You have the double laminated
Right.
stair system. Yes, it's beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that. Yes.
We made it thicker, partly
Yes.
because, well, I wanted people to be able to see how pretty everything was, and also that like a child's head couldn't get through the open stairs. So we, you know, because of how high a stair tread needs to be, as long as we went down, then we did that, and then we used the black metal
Yes.
balusters.
Yes.
Yeah, so everything is open.
Right.
And then underneath the staircase, we didn't enclose that. And that is now my grandkids' campsite.
I was gonna say it's gotta be a little like nook that they probably
They drag
love.
blankets out and they go underneath of there. But I think in the plan it might have been closed. We made it open.
Yeah, open it up.
Yeah.
Right. But there is that hallway, and then you've got the fireplace. Is that kind of in the corner of those stairs, or where?
Nope. So when you come in from the garage, we are
Yes.
you right to the left, and we
That's right.
centered it underneath that big beautiful beamwork that's there.
right.
And then we painted all of the metal parts. We had that
The exposed beam truss.
sprayed, yes, black.
Yes.
To
Your
kind
truss
of-
plates. Yep. That's right.
And so the fireplace is underneath there, and it's gas.
Gotcha.
And just adding the garage. The garage wasn't
Was the
standard,
biggest
Yeah.
was the biggest like visual change
Right.
from the yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
love
your-
that garage.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean it's got ceilings that are, I think we are 5 feet off the ground. Or you know the floor is low, but we have 5 feet that's all cement, and then the logs all the way up to the bottom of the second floor.
So it's a like super tall ceiling.
Oh, super tall,
Yeah.
which is great for all the toys.
Yeah.
We got a lot of space to hang things.
Right.
And it's a deep garage. So you could get, you know, toys at one end, and it's a single car. But, and then our driveway, instead of just a single car, we made it 3
Okay.
wide
Plenty of space for parking. Yeah.
for parking.
Yeah. So now that you've been in it a couple of years, would there be anything you would change if you could go back and do it again?
The only thing I might do, but it's only because we now are at 13 people in the family, and everybody fits out there, and it's great. And nobody comes to our little town to go to like a beauty pageant. So nobody's like worried about their hair, their makeup, nothing is
That
super
sounds
fancy.
glorious.
So the bathroom situation works, and we did look into it, was to add a third bathroom or a second full bathroom on the second floor, kind of knowing the family was going to grow, but it would not have worked. And a lot of it had to do with being exposed. I mean, it would be kind of like this exposed bathroom and plumbing and be in my garage, and I'd lose space. And,
Yeah.
we talked to the kids, and they were all like, "Now we don't care." Well, they're all boys, so they really didn't care. But now there's girls.
Right,
and
yeah.
they care a little more.
They're getting wives,
girlfriends,
wives
Yeah.
fiancés, right?
But they all get it. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's all worked out just fine. But that would have been the only thing, if I could have, I would have. It just didn't look, it wasn't going to look good the way we wanted the house to be.
Right.
But no, that would be my only thing.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't ask for more than that, right?
Now we love it. I mean, we just love that house.
What are some of the things that you would advise to people who are thinking about doing something like this? And how is describe your experiences you had in planning your house, and any hints you could give to somebody?
Well, we found the whole process from the moment we knew we wanted to do this to coming out here the first time, kind of walking through the plans, and we met up with Lacey. I think we picked a plan like day one.
Pretty
I mean,
quickly.
it just felt good that, I feel like when I walk in a house, whether I'm going to be doing it for somebody else or for me, it's a feeling, it's like a gut feeling. And that's what the Juliana felt. It was like, this is it. This is the house. Now we just need to make a few changes that we talked about that will fit a family our size. And Lacey was great. And you had, I can't remember the gentleman's name. He kind of tweaked the plans.
Bill Clark.
Yeah,
Yep.
a couple times as
Uh-huh.
we went through all of this. That was helpful. But Steve and I also came back out here maybe twice during the process to really spend more time looking at some of the adjustments for the logs as they were drying, how to do that. That was, and again, the gentleman's name who was over at the other display home probably spent a good 45 minutes with us, like really taking time to go through that. And we went out and bought a cheater. We call it a cheater bar, and a big wrench that we could put on there and then pulled the cheater bar. So those things were important to not only know about, but to know that you could get the advice in person here. That was really helpful. Because if you I read that book backwards and forwards, the build book, but until you actually have to do it, it doesn't quite make sense, but if you can see it,
Right.
it does.
Yeah.
It makes great sense. And we learned from that, and I still have it, my spreadsheet. Like there were two or three places that we were adjusting. So we marked those, on a Excel spreadsheet, and we took a measurement. That the ceiling is this far from the floor. And then next time we went back, we need to lower the house, we need to do the crank. And we did it until we got it all level. So I think that's also the uniqueness. It blows people's mind when we tell them we're doing that. They're like, "You're what?
Yeah.
You're adjusting your house.
Right.
Doing
It
what?"
moves.
Yeah, it moves. And you can hear it. If the house is quiet, you can hear it. When you crank it, you can hear everything just kind of slow. I mean, you're not going in there and
Right.
doing crazy. But I think take the time to spend it with whoever you're working with. Go through the plans. They probably will know them better than you, for sure. And if you spend the time and you're working with somebody like Lacey was with us, they care about what you're trying to achieve, and they're taking the time to explain that'll work, that won't work. So the process was painless here. It really was. So
That's great. I love hearing
I'll
that.
give you a little tidbit. You built the Juliana. Where that name came from was that on our 25th anniversary of GLH, we had a contest, and we were wanting to build a third home here. We were having a contest for the design, and the criteria was that had to have 3 bedrooms and 2.5 baths minimum, with a master on the main suite and a utility room on the main suite. And we broke the whole entire company, from everybody that worked at the mill to the salespeople to the design. Everybody in the company was in one of these 4 groups, and each group had to come up with a design that was in the contest for which plan we would build here at the Model Home Center. This plan was named the Juliana because there was one woman in the group, and her name was Julia.
Okay.
So the team named it the Juliana after her.
I like that.
So that was, and then the winner of the contest said that Caroline won the contest, but the winner, that group got to go to got to get a free trip and a day off to go to the Cardinal game with all expenses paid.
Nice.
And so they had a nice little trip. But anyway, I
Always
thought you
worth
might
it.
find it interesting to know where the name came
Yeah,
from.
I do like that. I like to know that.
Yeah, and it was part of, wasn't, what year was that? That was in late 90s, right?
1977 plus 25.
Okay.
92?
Okay.
93? No.
2000.
2002.
Yeah.
2002.
Yeah.
I'm missing 10 years there.
I was gonna say,
2002.
Because that was
Yes.
because the Caroline was built in
2004.
But what was the criteria also was to keep it under a certain price point, right?
Yes, the criteria was that it was supposed to, on a slab, you're supposed to be able to build it for $150,000.
Okay.
Which back then you could have done.
Oh, yeah.
And today it's twice that.
Yeah.
At least twice that.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Well, we have a name for the house too. I mean, it's
Oh,
not
do
only
you?
the Juliana plan. Our house is called Casa Cerisa, and we have a cherry door knocker, but that means house of cherries. And so my married name is Wisniewski, and that means cherry tree.
Oh.
So it's kind of a theme. It's always been a theme in our family, but it's the first time it actually showed up in a house. I've been married 42 years, so it showed up at like year 39, finally. But that became really, truly a family house. And so the kids were like, absolutely, we're naming it that.
That's cool.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
I love that. I love that a lot.
Well, that goes along with our motto is that our heart and heritage. Where it comes from our heart for the heritage that you're creating
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
your family, and that's a perfect tie-in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They feel it.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah,
That's great.
gives me goosebumps.
Yes, I love that so much. Well, thank you for coming today
Yeah.
to tell your story. I've loved being with you in this whole process from start to finish. It's been so fun hearing all the stories, and one of these days I'm going to come see that house.
Good.
And I cannot wait. So thank you for coming here
Yeah.
and telling us your story.
Well, thanks for having me. Love to share it.
Thank you.